If you watched part 1, you now know that you don't need to have a fancy studio or expensive gear to begin as a singer-producer. But once the hardware is sorted, this is where most producers get stuck. Because the next question always is, which software should I use now? Logic, Ableton, FL Studio, Pro Tools, Cubase. Everyone likes different things, everyone has their opinions, and everyone says theirs is the best. In this video, I'll help you choose the best software for you to create as a singer-producer without thinking about it and switching 10 times and without feeling lost. This is part 2 of the series, How to Begin as a Singer-Producer. Hey guys, if you're new here, welcome to Music in Progress. I'm Saurabh Shetty, a singer, songwriter, and a music producer with multiple TV commercials, feature film music experience, and live performance experience for corporates, weddings, and concerts as well. I'm here to get you started and get you running on that career as a musician profitably. Before we go into the right kind of software, let's just understand this term which I'll be using a lot. It's called DAW. DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. In simple terms, it's like your digital studio. It's that software where you will record vocals, edit your takes, arrange the tracks in order to make your song and mix it all as well. You might be thinking right now, how will I learn all of this? But you don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough to start. Now, as promised, let's look through all the softwares that exist, the DAWs that exist from a singer-producer point of view. I'll start off with FL Studio because it's the most fun kind of software that I think exists in music production. So FL Studio is one of the most popular DAWs for beginning music producers because it has a gamified sort of interface where you can actually create beats by just clicking on some buttons and seeing what they do. So it's a very visually rewarding experience in order to create those beats and understand and enjoy the whole process of production. I remember starting off with FL Studio, and without complicating it too much for you in terms of automation curves, EQs, plugins, all of that, I feel it's a very beautiful playground to start your music production with. Moving on to the second in the list, it's Cubase. Cubase, or Nuendo by Steinberg, is one of the traditional workflow-based softwares. It has a lot of native plugins and instrument libraries, which are really powerful and very useful as well. My experience of Cubase was amazing when I was using a Windows desktop, especially the vocal fine-tuning that you can do in order to correct your off pitching sometimes is amazing. It's really spot on and doesn't flex the audio too much so that you have to use any other plugins. So Cubase is of course an amazing software. What I didn't like about it was every new upgrade costed me a bit more. So I would prefer having something, of course, which it's a one-time payment and you get all the upgrades for free, which you'll find in the next software. So now moving on to Logic Pro. Now it's a software I changed to once I shifted to a Mac setup. Now the thing about Logic Pro is that it works only on Mac. So if you have a Windows system, you might not be able to use it. But about Logic Pro, it's the software that I changed to and I still keep using for a majority of my productions. I'll tell you all the good stuff first. Its interface is minimal and classy. It has some basic features that it keeps on when you begin the software, and you can then click on advanced features once you understand all the basic things in order to make the experience even better. Also, on the side, it has amazing samples. So when you're starting off and you might not be able to play too many instruments as a singer, it's great to have that library on the side which you can just categorize as per guitars, drums, bass, whatever you need. Put those samples in and then start creating your song or your track on the same. It's also a software made for Mac, so it runs beautifully without using too many resources. And when using an Apple system, using their softwares is a lot more robust than using any other software. One more point is when your program does get stuck for any reason and it crashes, when you restart it, it will still give you an option to bring yourself to that unsaved part of the project so you don't lose everything that you have done before saving the project. It's still the preferred software for me when I'm using those fast productions. Although on a side note, I don't like the fine tuning too much because it also flexes the audio whenever you do it. I don't have a workaround for it. If you do, please let me know other than using a different plugin plugin altogether. But in all other cases, I would still prefer Logic Pro over many other softwares, especially if I'm on a Mac. Now moving on to the next one, it's Ableton Live. Now Ableton Live is an amazing tool for all those producers and singers who want to create modern electronic indie numbers, because it has two different views, which Logic Pro also has, but Ableton has been doing it and just does it better. Now when you switch between these views, you can have different variations of the loop. So basically you can have 3 kinds of drums, 3 kinds of guitars, 3 kinds of pianos, and then you can just pick and choose which ones you want to play next when you're composing or making a track. This makes it very easy to change those loops that you want and create a whole workflow based on the loops. Also, in terms of automations, Ableton is a step above. It is really easy to use and very intuitive to draw those automation curves, which if you would not know as a beginner, means say in your track you wanted a guitar to come down at some point and then again go up slowly when the chorus comes in. So for that you would use an automation curve, and drawing all of these curves, their shapes, is extremely easy and fun to do actually in Ableton. And even if I might not like the sample libraries too much in Ableton, using a software like Splice in order to get those samples is still a great way in order to use samples and still maintain this electronic loop-based workflow. Now moving on to the last one in the list, it's Pro Tools. Now Pro Tools I feel is more on the side of recording and editing. We use it a lot when we are doing TV commercials because we have to take multiple takes of the dub and the voiceovers and stacking all of them up, putting some effects on them. So for all of these things, Pro Tools is amazing, but personally, I don't tend to use it too much as a producer. It's amazing if you're a mixing or mastering engineer, but I would suggest as a beginner singer producer, try to go for one of the other ones instead. Pro Tools is the studio industry standard. It's really great to use if you plan to have a recording studio ahead and keep recording sessions over there. As a singer producer, I feel one of the other softwares that I mentioned would be much better for you. As I said previously, there is no best DAW. The best DAW is the one that translates your thoughts of making music into reality. So now that you know all of the major easy to use DAWs out there, here's what I would like you to ask yourself before making that choice. First, what genre do I want to make? Because in terms of singer-songwriter with guitar samples, bass samples, Logic Pro or Cubase might suit you better. If you want more of electronic, modern workflow-based editing, then Ableton might be the way to go. Second, do I like to compose in loops or linearly? Now it really makes a difference, because if you're someone who enjoys loops and wants to sing over them and just try out new ideas, it might be better to again use Ableton, versus if you are following a linear songwriting structure where your mind just goes from verse to the bridge to the chorus, or in that form of a structure, then Logic Pro or Cubase might be a better bet for you. And also FL Studio. Third, am I recording vocals a lot? If you will be recording a lot of vocals, Logic Pro and Cubase have better setting changes that you can do in order to have that low latency, which means the difference between hearing your sound and singing it. Because if you are recording vocals a lot, it's better to use softwares like Cubase or Logic Pro, because they have considerably low latencies when you're recording vocals as compared to Ableton, especially when you're using a lot of instruments out there. Fourth, am I on Mac or Windows? Because some softwares like Logic Pro might not work on Windows, and you also should check out how the softwares that you are liking work on Mac and how is their support and overall community regarding the software. So now what can you do right now? Download a few trials, check out the softwares that you think will work for you, and once you have spent some days with it, then decide whether you want to purchase something or not. If you are a student, you might be getting some discounts on a few of these softwares as well. So be sure to check out on their official sites if they have any student discounts going on as well. And once you've chosen something, just stay with it for a little bit, because you will need some time in order to understand the workflow of that software. And once you do understand it, it's very easy to go on to even another piece of software later, because the basics still remain the same. And some beginner mistakes to avoid are: stop changing your DAW every month on month, because you're not gonna get anywhere just having a month of exercise on something and then switching into something completely new. Also, please don't buy or download all of these plugin packs and overload your software and yourself with all of these extra unnecessary plugins before you understand all the basics. Third, I know many YouTubers give out their vocal chains or their preferred softwares, but blindly following them won't really make too much of a difference. Instead of that, try to understand what they are talking about and then make your choice yourself. Also, fourth, if you think that having a software is gonna fix everything, it's not. You still do have to work at the basic recording skills and having the right kind of equipment, and then going from there. As you always know, consistency beats the perfect choice. So now that you know what hardware you need, what software you might choose, the next step is the most important one: skills. If this video helped you in any way to choose your DAW, please subscribe to Music in Progress and like this video, and please let me know in the comments whatever you want to ask me, because I read every single comment and try to do the best for you. Now in part 3 next week, I'll show you the exact skills that you need to start recording and start understanding these softwares and the hardware without getting overwhelmed. So do write in the comments which DAW you're using right now, or if you're confused between any two softwares, and I'd love to help you out. Hardware gets you started, software is what gives you control, and skills are what make you an artist. I'll see you in part 3 of beginning as a singer producer on Music in Progress. Thank you.